Hey there, welcome to this episode, all about triggering our samples, the playback modes, how to stop a sample, to pause a sample, all of those kind of things. Basic transport controls for your project. So if we start with a couple of samples here, I have a long sample loaded up onto pad 3, like a long melodic sample, and I'm going to press the start end button here to open up like the waveform viewer so you can see the playhead moving across, and it will make it easy to demonstrate these modes. The first mode that is kind of enabled by default when you load a sample onto a pad is gate mode here, and you'll know it's enabled because it's lit up. And when I press the sample here, it will only play while my finger is pressing this pad, and I'll demonstrate that. You can see as soon as I take my finger off the pad, the playback stops. Now, if we turn gate mode off here, we get to what I would call like the first of the one-shot modes, and I think there are two of these, and I'll explain as I go along. The first mode will now, when I press my finger on the pad, it's going to start to play that sample from start to finish, and I can re-trigger that sample as I go. Now, the other things I want to show you while I'm demonstrating this is that if you want to stop all of your patterns, all of your sounds, everything from playing, we do shift and exit, and that is going to stop all playback. You can also do it by pressing exit 4 times, I believe, but it's really not intuitive at all. It's a bit awkward. So shift and exit is the easier way. We can also pause playback by doing shift and hold here, and then shift and hold to continue playback. And I will demonstrate it with this trigger mode. So let's open up our window again. Watch what happens now as I trigger this sample. And you can see I've paused it there with shift and hold again to undo. And shift and exit to stop all the playback. So with this first one-shot mode, that's what it's doing. It's allowing me to re-trigger the sample, and it will play from start to finish. It doesn't loop it, it just plays from the start point to the end point. Now, the other version of one-shot that we have here, it's enabled by pressing this push enter button. So we click that down once and then press gate. And you will notice our gate button now flashes rather than being a solid light, just so you know that you're in that mode. And the difference being is that I play my sample in the same way. It will play from start to finish. However, it will not allow me to re-trigger this, so let me show you that. Shift and exit to stop. So you could see there I could not re-trigger that sample once it had started playback. So useful for certain scenarios. Now, if you want to come out of that, just tap gate a couple of times till nothing is lit up. We have BPM sync, but I'm going to go more into that in another video. We also have roll mode, but again, that's another little separate video on its own, just so that I can show you the different modes and the effects that you can get. Let's move through and take a look at some of the others. If we take a look at loop here, so I've got a short sample, which is just like a little snare sound. If I press loop, it's going to do exactly as it suggests. It's just going to loop the playback of that sample. And it's going to stop when I press the pad again. Now, if I do shift and loop, you will notice underneath here it says ping pong. And you will notice the loop now flashes as a button. And when we do this, it's going to ping pong that sample back and forth. And again, it's going to stop as soon as I press the pad again. Now, we can also do reverse here, so we can just press these to disable them. If we do reverse, of course, that's going to reverse the sample. And you can do your other functions at the same time, so I can reverse and loop. I can also do like the reverse and ping pong. And we can manipulate it in that kind of way. So those are the basic kind of transport controls here. We can play a sample, we can stop a sample, we can pause it, and also it's a quick look at some of the triggering modes we have available. And those are your typical ones, same as like an MPC or whatever. We have our gate mode, our one-shot modes, and, you know, looping and reversing. So hope you've enjoyed it. Catch you guys in the next episode.